Am I the bad guy for refusing to go to lunch with my girlfriend's friends? Hi, so I'm 22. Have known my friend for like a few years now. I will say he's my male friend, and I feel like I can talk to him about anything. So when I met him, he was in 3-year relationship, and I will sometimes hang out with them both in group settings. They had a very toxic, messy breakup due to his partner being insecure about his interaction with your best friend. Fast forward a year later, he is now dating his ex's best friend. To be 100% honest, I don't agree with the whole idea of dating an ex's bestie, but I want to tell him not to date her or stop being his friends because of it. The real issue I have is that I simply don't like her. We went to college together, and she has just never been kind of friendly to me before. We went to a party as a friend group once, and I had a big drink, and someone had asked her to accompany me to the car, and she left without me. I was by myself in the city at 2 a.m. waiting for an Uber, and her excuse was she was too drunk to realize she left me. I also know she's ditched another friend drunk laying in their vomit on the street and slapped them because they were ruining her night. I heard this from two separate people who were her friends, so I doubt they made it up. Regardless, I think my personal experience with her is enough if you take away the stuff not involving me. That being said, I never brought up that I didn't like her. It only came up since he said he was going to be in town and asking to have lunch with us three, and I asked if it could be just us. I don't think that's unreasonable since we went out for lunch without his previous girlfriend several times. His response was the situation is different since I didn't have a problem with his ex, and that am I just going to judge her over what I heard? He also was saying things like, how is our friendship going to work if I don't want to be around his girlfriend? I told him I was fine with being in group setting like a birthday or something, but lunch, just the three of us, I'm not uncomfortable with. Additionally, we don't live in the same city, so this will rarely be a problem anyways. Ultimately, I feel like he was not respecting what I'm comfortable with and also making light of my reasons, which I found insulting. The way I see it, leaving me alone while intoxicated in an unfamiliar city as a woman put me in a lot of risk, and I'm very lucky nothing happened to me. And as my friend, he doesn't seem to care she did that to me. Frustrated with the convo, I just ended with, I don't understand why you're making this bigger than it needs to be. If the roles were reversed and my boyfriend did that to you, I will completely respect you not wanting to be around him. In fact, I probably wouldn't date someone who would do that in the first place, and we haven't talked since. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for not fully supporting my partner's decision to have an abortion? Hello, I have been in a committed relationship with my partner for 3 years, and we recently found out she's pregnant. While my partner has expressed a desire to have an abortion, I am hesitant to support this decision for a few reasons. First, I am struggling with the emotional impact of losing a potential child. I have always wanted to be a father, and the thought of terminating a pregnancy feels like a loss to me. I feel that life begins at the conception. Second, I have some concerns about the long-term effects of abortion in my partner's mental and physical health. I worry that she may experience regret or depression after the fact, and I'm concerned about the risks associated with the procedure. She has a history with depression and anxiety. Despite these concerns, I understand that my partner has the ultimate say in what happens to her body. I have told her that I will support her no matter what, but I'm struggling to come to terms with the decision to terminate the pregnancy. I love you, and I will not interfere with whatever choice she makes. I understand that it's her body and her choice at the end of the day, but I don't feel like I can fully agree and support her decision to have an abortion. So, guys, please help me. I'm at the bad guy for not supporting my partner's decision to have an abortion, or I'm justified in my concerns about the emotional and physical impact of the procedure. We have not talked about kids and what to do if we were ever in a situation like this. She uses birth control, and this was extremely unplanned. Also, any advice on how to proceed from here will be appreciated. Also, I'm struggling to support my partner's decision to have an abortion due to my desire to be a father and concerns about the emotional and physical impact of the procedure in my partner. Although I understood that the decision ultimately lies with my partners, and I will ultimately support her with whatever she chooses, I'm having a hard time coming to terms with the idea of terminating the pregnancy. And also, Edith, thank you for your advice. I realize that some of my points on the emotional and physical effects of the abortion are incorrect, and that pregnancy will have even worse effect. I will go research a little more now. I will talk to her after I gather my thoughts. Thank you all again. I'm at the bad guy for thinking about confronting a 15-year-old girl. So back in 2014, my mom met this dude and started dating him. He already has a daughter. She's 15. In my 2020, my mom and this dude, who is called Dan, had a son. They used to argue a lot already, and I will try to protect the daughter, whom I consider my little sister, and I will call her Rita, and distract her from the really scary arguments. But after the baby was born, they started to argue even more, and things got really bad, to the point Dean and my mom split up. But Rita kept visiting me, my mom, and the baby, because we really loved her and she loved us. She started to visit less and less, and then she began to act weird. I tried to talk to her, asking her what's up, but she would respond she was just sad because of her dad's action. Eventually, we found out Dan had been cheating on my mom for years and he was engaged. That's when my mom decided enough was enough, because also, since they split up, he called and saw my brother less and less, and this way visibly affected him. One day, he appeared at the door to try and take my brother with him, and his fiancée was in the car. My mom said no, and he tried to take my brother and hurt my mom. Thankfully, she managed to get my brother and run inside the house. The thing is, Rita and her mom, who was my mom's friend in a very weird way, stopped calling my brother too. She stopped visiting and her mom called my mom to ask her to reconsider letting Dean see my brother. My mom decided to lose any contact with them, but Rita is still my friend on Facebook. She hasn't asked me about my brother. She didn't invite me or him to her birthday, and she just doesn't seem to care. I get that she's mad at my mom in some type of way, because whenever Dean and her fought, mom would insult him too. But I was always a good older sister to her. I always defended and protected her, had the talk with her, and did her makeup for the first time. And my baby brother missed her so much. He's always asking about her, and it hurts me to know he doesn't understand why she just vanished. He's 3. He hasn't done anything for her to just cut him off. Am I big crazy? I think she's old enough to think of her own and talk to me. I know she's young and easy to manipulate, but not that much. Because I know for a fact she's a very smart and mature kid. Am I wrong for being mad? Am I the bad guy? I want a second tattoo, but my husband despises them. My husband and I have been married for 6 years now. I was 24 and he was 28 when we got married. I didn't have any tattoos when I met him and never thought much about it, as I never thought I will get one. But change, and I'm now in my 30s, and it was not a topic that ever came up before our marriage. Fast forward 6 years later, and I had some old scars of my arm I wanted to cover up, so he agreed to let me get tattoo. He's truly disgusted by them, but he knew it will make me feel more confident. Some background. He has an older half brother who's basically a neo Nazi and was covered in racist tattoos. So I think that is where a lot of the disgust comes from. I love the artistry behind tattoos and will love one more. But when I mentioned it to my husband, he just told me how sad it makes him that I will do that to him, knowing his feelings about tattoos. I would love to get just one more for symmetry and balance. My undergrad is in art, but I'm afraid he's leave me. A tattoo is not worth a divorce, or just be generally unhappy with me for a long time. We talked about the current one I have for over a year, and he seems mostly okay with it. Now the ink is dried. Literally. I'm struggling in the sense that it's my body, and I don't feel he has the right to dictate what I do with it. But I understand the importance of the compromise in the marriage and don't want him to look at me with disgust. I wouldn't even consider getting a second one for a few years, and will of course speak to him extensively about it beforehand. I'm not sure how to broach the topic with him. Whenever I do, he just tells me how sad that makes him and how badly that will affect on our marriage, and just shuts the conversation down, leaving me with no room to discuss my thoughts or feelings. And also, I will do another tattoo. Husband hates them, and it has made me feel terrible about wanting to get another one. Unsure of how to move forward or have a productive discussion about the situation. So, write in the comments below what do you think. Am I the bad guy for telling my girlfriend I don't want to live with her anymore? So, mine and my girlfriend's sleeping patterns have been pretty bad lately. Going to sleep at like 4 or 5 a.m. and not waking up until 2 3 p.m. I hate doing this, so I try to get up earlier than that and try to get stuff done around the house. My girlfriend is always still asleep when I do this. I got up around 2ish and went to go and do some cleaning and tidying up, and my girlfriend texts me asking where I've gone. I say I'm in the lounge tidying up. She then texts back saying she's sick of waking up alone. This I understand if we had normal sleeping patterns and went to sleep and woke up at a reasonable time like 7, 8, 9 a.m. If that were the case, I will wait for her to wake up, so we could wake up together. But if I'm waking up at 1, 2 in the afternoon, I'm not waking around in bed bored for hours for her to wake up. So I can start my day that's already started way too late for my liking anyway. I told her this and then it started an argument and led to her saying forget it. I won't say my feelings. I then say that I don't want to live with her anymore, as I feel like all I do is sit in the bed all day long watching TV with her because every time I try to get up to do the stuff she tells me to get back in bed and makes me feel stupid for even thinking about getting out of bed to do anything. So literally nothing gets done if I don't do it when she's sleeping. I then also said that since moving in with her, I haven't been able to do anything that I enjoy doing, like doing my nails or my makeup for fun. She bought me a sewing machine for my birthday, and I said I want to do clean out the separate room, so I have something to use it. But I said that I'm questioning whether or not I should bother because Is she even going to let me get out of bed to use it? I told her she was being controlling and she kicked off and told me to stop calling her that, and then she called me pathetic, and that I've added onto her insecurities by saying all this. But I can't sit around waiting her for wake up, and I hate staying in bed all day. It's depressing, and I want to get up and do things that I enjoy and that make me feel less depressed. This is my home too, and I should be allowed to do whatever I want and go wherever I want in the house. And the things is, if I don't clean and tidy up, it wouldn't get done because she rarely does any cleaning. So it's just messy here all the time, and it makes me feel so stressed. So, am I the bad guy? Am I the bad guy for being bothered my pregnant wife behavior? My wife, she's 29, in 3 months pregnant, and I have been married 4 years and dating 2 years prior. She hasn't been taking her pregnancy well. Her nausea in the evening, and she's crying and complaining that I'm not doing enough. We both work in top corporate jobs, and I also run a small business on the side, so generally we're busy people. I'm very happy to help and do chores like washing up, vacuum, cleaning, groceries without her asking. However, she has a way of requesting other things that really bothers me. She directly won't ask for something. She will just make a statement like, the toilet smells or the window is open, and expects me to follow through. If I don't catch on, she will remember and complain to me that I am substandard or not good enough for not doing what she wants. She says I should know what she wants. Yesterday, I politely said she can learn a better way to ask for things, as if she uses simple manners like please or thank you, it will make me want to help even more. I also said that if she cannot, I will be less likely to want to help her being proactive with help. I said it doesn't cost much to say these things, and it would benefit both of us. I tried to have a mature conversation with her to listen and understand her position more. She burst into tears saying she's suffering, she won't change her behavior, and it's her real self. She says that because she's pregnant, she wishes I should just be a robot and do everything she says, no matter how she says it, because her job is to bear the child. She is sweet and polite to all her friends, family, and work colleagues, literally all the time, even during pregnancy and periods also. But as her husband, I get her real self, which is negative, demanding, distant, and always impolite. I ask her why she cannot treat me like how she treats everyone else, to which she replies in her cultural husband normally get treated this way. She is East Asian. She even said she should have married someone from East Asia and regrets marrying me because of my Western upbringing because it can't take her negativity. I understand she may have pregnancy hormones. If that was the case, I would accept and bear with this as temporary, but she has been like this before pregnancy. This negative version of her happens for 10 days before her periods. I avoid interaction with her during this duration, as she's unpleasant to be around, and I will wait for the time when she becomes nice again. However, now, she is now like this 24/7, and this is unavoidable. I asked so many times in the past she should try to learn and be more empathetic and nicer when she communicates. However, she refuses and makes no effort at self-improvement or even researching or googling the topics. She is from an East Asian background and lives in a number of East Asian countries, but is now settled with me in London, UK, where I was born. So I'm not the bad guy for being bothered by her behavior while she's pregnant.